This is Cal, my combat achievement log Snowflake Iron Man. Cal is able to allocate levels and combat skills after completing a combat achievement. And what is Cal's ultimate goal? To kill every single notable boss in old school RuneScape. Last episode, we started setting up for some long grinds. We grabbed 20,000 buckets of sand for crafting, completed many quests to help start farming, grabbed almost all the mole combat achievements, and finally we picked up all the achievements from both Crazy Archaeologist and Deranged Archaeologist. And today won't be any different. We have a lot of grinding and bossing to do. Today is the dreaded Slayer episode. Dreaded by me at least. We're going to have to condense a lot of my grinding down to just a little bit of on-screen time for you guys. And I figure while I'm running around the game doing Turiel and Vanaka tests to get us up to level 55 Slayer, it'd be a good idea to get our Hunter to 83 to snag a glory off a Dragon Impling if we see one. We're currently level 76 Hunter, so just wait a moment. Okay, great, 83. Jagex was kind enough to load me up with some rare candies, so I've been popping those for free level ups. And I'm not very attentive, so if you see a Dragon Impling, just comment to let me know and I'll grab it. So in addition to our Slayer today, I want some combat achievements to stockpile even more levels. Big surprise. And like last episode, I have my eyes on 3 bosses, Bryophyta, Obor, and Scorpia. So call me Captain Keys because we need 5 keys from both Moss Giants and from Hill Giants in order to get our combat achievements off of Bryophyta and Obor respectively. I'll be gathering these keys in the wilderness as their drop rate is 2 times more common than it is if I were to kill them out of the wilderness. I just really can't seem to escape this place. So while I'm farming up these mobs, let's talk shop on why we're getting our Slayer to 55. 55 Slayer unlocks one of the most interesting spells in the game, Magic Dart. For all you OGs out there, this bad boy spell used to be the bread and butter. Think of it as a budget Trident of the Seas spell. It scales with your magic level, has a low rune cost comparatively to other spells in its bracket, and most importantly, it's going to help a lot today with these bosses ahead of us. So that's the good stuff. The bad stuff is the grind to get there. My combat level is barely above 40, meaning our best Slayer Master is Vanaka, whose task table has a worse reputation than a ragger at the Chaos Altar. You might not know this, but my nickname on the side of this series has been Broke Boy Bitch. I don't have money to buy adequate runes to fast track our Slayer. So where does this leave us? Fire striking our way to level 55 Slayer with terrible low-level Slayer tasks. I wish I was kidding. We need roughly 165,000 Slayer experience to get to 55. Using Fire Strike, which averages 4.5 damage, if we graciously assume we have 100% accuracy, this boils down to an average of about 36,500 Fire Strikes. So in calculating how long that'll take, it comes out to be too damn long. But it's not all bad. We do want our magic leveled up for our crafting grind, specifically to level 77 for Super Glass Make. Yes, Lunar Diplomacy is finally on the table. We collected all that sand last episode, and I've done us both a favor and collected all the giant seaweed we need off screen over the course of a couple days. Using Super Glass Make, we'll be able to make roughly 15,000 unpowered orbs, which will charge, craft into battle staves, and alch the whole lot for around 30 million. It'll be a long, arduous process, and our levels available are gonna tank because of the quests we need to complete in order to get there, but I'm honestly so happy we're in the position to finally pull the trigger on this. Or at least I tell myself I'm happy about it. What? I was just pulling Christmas crackers. 'Tis the season, bitch! These are long grinds. They're also unfortunately boring. And even more unfortunately, they're necessary. So let's start at square one where we need to and get 55 Slayer underway.
Let's don't talk about my soul. I just really wanna walk away. My happiness is stole. Can anybody show me where the place where I belong? Only fools I never heard the truth, and deep inside I know that I'm not an empty book. Every time I got my future, I'm gonna feel so low. Every time I got the rainbow, I deserve it just folk. Every time I agree together, we just take off our clothes. Every night I try to forget it, but I can't no more. I feel like just as this sky. Nothing behind. Give me some time. Улетать без нам себя береги. Сила накопили вроде бы, но скисли. Там она везла злой, причудливая дума, негодяйка путала мысли. Том накатали за любовь актрисы. Мне говорят, стерегу
дороге, но суки обманывают, ущипни меня быстро. Иное время несет меня вдаль. Моя подруга забыла печали. На ком с перепугу мы ставили все и проебали этот злой календарь. Ковырял судьбу, рисковал, попивал, да покуривал и меры не знал. Убивая себя яблоками разура, я дарил этот кач головам. Надеюсь, вновь напуганную, сам тут ты не плашая. Иначе мука обернется тебе дорога. Кому-то мало, кому-то много. Сердобольные недотруги меня ласкали до без упреков и безупречными мне казались. Зубы добр, я глупый добр.
Alright, it is time for bossing, as I sit here in the Rogue's Den cooking soda ash. Just wanted to throw the heads up that in the background, I'm going to be training crafting. And if you take a look at my level, I'm currently 47, and now I am 66. 66 is the level needed for air battle staves, which is going to be our item of choice for the grind to 85, so super fun and exciting, I know. This grind isn't going anywhere for a long time, but rest assured, I'm suffering through it. But on to bigger things, our Slayer staff. Yes, with this thing, we max a 17, which is already a max hit higher than Fire Blast, but virtually the same rune cost. And that max hit is only going to go up with magic levels because Slayer Dart scales with your magic level. Speaking of levels, with the Giant Key Grind, the Mossy Key Grind, and our Slayer Grind, we went from level 53 magic to level 75 magic, totaling 22 levels. A hefty price to pay, but it's necessary. And it's not all bad, we gained back 4 levels for the combat achievement for killing a Bloodveld. Okay, so back to the bosses. The first ass we're going to kick is Bryophyta. We're going to be doing all the combat achievements for this boss. Bryophyta does have a relatively high magic level, which equates to a small obstacle of magic defense to tackle. However, with our new upgrade, we shouldn't have anything to worry about. This boss has a whopping 7 combat achievements tied to it, so we're seriously about to cash out. The plan is to walk in, attempt to poison with the Bone Dagger special attack, and then kill the boss using magic. We're going to have to poison one of these kills because it's a CA to finish off Bryophyta with poison. Just another reason I'm so happy we picked you up, Bone-chan. I take that joke back, I don't want the Bone Dagger to be sentient. The first thing I did was do Quick Cutter ASAP, felling all the Groots within 3 seconds. Next, on our first kill, we were able to achieve Preparation is Key, we suffered no poison damage, Bryophyta Novice, our first KC, and finally, Protection from Moss. We have Protect Magic active when Bryophyta dies. Like I said, this boss is pretty free. Oh, unless you get impatient and attempt to brute force poison the boss, then underestimate how little magic accuracy you have, get extremely frustrated by how the boss is invincible when it spawns Groots, and it can keep spawning Groots as often as it likes, and inevitably have to tally out wasting an entire Mossy Key, which takes roughly, oh, I don't know, 1 to 2 hours to get. Fuck. What I make up for in looks, I definitely lack in brains. I didn't take a prayer potion and it was just doomed to try to brute force poison without more prayer. So haha, whoops, paid the 2 hour for a Mossy Key tax. Won't be making that mistake again. So on my third kill, I took 2 prayer potions, which are literally worth everything to me as I can't make them yet, and I brute forced the poison for the CA, a slow death. I'm still angry. We grab ourselves a free-to-play kill, which was annoying but very doable. And finally, we wrap things up with Bryophyta Champion. Wowee, 5 whole kills at this boss. What an ordeal, but it's over. It really wasn't bad, I'm just being dramatic. And I'd like to extend a massive thank you to the channel artist. We have this awesome graphic design that shows what bosses we have and haven't done. It doesn't include raids, but rest assured we'll get to those. I guess we could have done this after just 1 KC, but regardless, Bryophyta is green now. All done. We'll get a lot more use out of this new graphic, so again, massive thanks to the channel artist. It's me. I'm the channel artist. Although I will say it's kind of sad looking at that graphic because once it's all filled up along with all the raids, the series is over. It'll be some bittersweet day in 2035. I'm just kidding. It'll be 2045. Our next boss we need to tackle is Scorpia. This boss relies on snares and freezes to an extent, especially when using magic, so we'll be going for 3 out of the 4 combat achievements as I don't want to spend too long here. We can come back when we're stronger. I did a test run of this boss with the goal in mind to get a feel for what supplies I'd need for killing it, and we have good news and bad news. The good news is I got the CA No More Guardians, where we get a kill without killing the Guardians. The bad news is we need prayer potions for this boss, which I can't make because we're only 28 herb lore. And because I have no more prayer potions after the 1 kill I used for the test kill, I need 38 herb lore real quick. 6 easy achievement diaries later, prayer potions are being made. We also gained another magic level, putting us at level 76 while we were doing our super fun diaries. This boss is relatively straightforward. It can only hit with melee. However, the little scorpions in the room hit very accurate constant 1s and 2s with range, so you freeze the big boy and you pray versus the small boys. One of the CAs is to not let Scorpia deal literally any damage to you, but I wasn't aware that you could just pray melee against her, so I ended up running around the room like an idiot. I was trying to freeze the guardians to keep them from healing the boss while I stayed as far away from her as possible. I just didn't realize I could pray against her directly. That is what I call a Cal moment. Either way, with my unconventional strategy of running like hell, we were able to bag the achievement. You can call it an empty-headed strategy or a skilled hand strategy, but you should probably just call it an empty-headed strategy. The rest of the kills were pretty easy. I killed her about 2 times per trip on average because I didn't want to risk my precious prayer potions in the wilderness. I've seen enough people get dunked on in this multi-area to have PTSD without it even having happened to me. So I kited Scorpia for the kills, prayed melee when she got too close and refroze her, and 10 KC easy. We'll be back for 25 when I have more potions and time to spare, but for now, we can mark Scorpia as green as we've bagged a kill on her. Last boss on the list before we start questing. We're also stockpiling so many levels, it'd be a huge shame if something just came along and destroyed them. Won't happen. So, we have Obor. Fun fact about this boss, he actually has insane dance moves. How? Because he loves to go clubbing. Yeah, hopefully some of you guys are dads. We're looking to pick up all the combat achievements here. Obor is not hard, but his boss arena is a little bit wonky for freezing and running if your freezes don't last long, which mine don't. I can cast Magic Dart 3 times per snare I use before I need to run and relocate, which can make the combat achievement for not getting hit off prayer a little awkward because he can slap you for melee while you're praying range when you run by him. But we have 7 giant keys, so that's plenty of attempts. And I can report that our first attempt went pretty well. We obviously achieved Obor Novice, our first KC, and we also got back to the wall. Apparently Obor has a mechanic where he can knock you back if you aren't up against a wall, so we hugged the wall the whole fight. Pretty simple. On our 3rd kill, we managed to get Squashing the Giant, which was the achievement I was most worried about. But just flicking melee when I needed to run by him to reposition for snares ended up being the answer, which means it should be smooth sailing from here, which holy shit, it was smooth sailing. I know that this boss isn't some great obstacle to overcome, but there have been so many tiny details that I've overlooked in this series that have ended up costing me hours upon hours of both grinding and or RNG brute forcing that I'm so happy neither of those issues arose in this instance. We picked up fighting as intended with a Fire Blast kill on a free-to-play world and got our Obor Champion 5KC CA at the same time. And finally, we hopped back to a members world, froze Obor while he went down for our last CA, Sleeping Giant. This is the best kind of happy ending. Trust me, I'd know. That is all the Obor combat achievements completely done. We also scored a kill here, so Mr. Editor, mark it off the list. I'm also Mr. Editor, but I like to call myself Editor-in-Chief at the very least. Anyway, enough stalling, time for pain. Now, I'm going to divulge some information about what direction I want to take the account here. It's no surprise that we've invested a lot in the mage skill, and we'll continue to do so for a little bit. But other than a few scarce KC achievements that we've skipped out on, the only combat achievements we really have left are a lot of high-level bosses and high-level slayer monsters. The early game is essentially over. I've picked up all the combat achievement scraps I really can, and I'd say magic was the right choice for it. With that being said, we're going to continue to use magic for a lot of content going forward, but this is where the path diverges a little bit. We're going to do the Fremnik trials. Now, some of you know what's going to happen to me when I finish this quest, and yes, I'm sad about it too. When you look at our levels available, you probably see, wow, we've literally got a 99 bagged. That's huge. This should be easy. If I wanted to fire strike to 99, that could be a strategy, but we're unlocking lunars, so it's not going to be the strategy. I really want to start dipping into range levels soon, because ultimately a Bofa is going to be what helps us out with so many achievements going forward before we have to invest into our melee levels. The tricky part about doing a lot of these bosses going forward is that quests are needed, and those oftentimes have reward combat experience that is just going to force our levels available down very quickly. I'd like to note that I have theory crafted to around being able to wield a rune crossbow, which is just theory, and past that, who the fuck knows. So to summarize this huge tangent, easy to grab combat achievements are coming to an end, we need other combat skills, and quests are going to kill our levels available. It's going to be a lot of challenges, but I'm so up for it. Speaking of challenges, this quest really only has one for me. Yeah, we got to do 7 favors for 7 council members, blah, blah, blah. You guys have seen this quest a million times, and I've done this quest a million times. However, I've never fought Koshi the Undying with these melee stats before. Apparently this fight is just an RNG fest as long as I have the correct supplies. You can't fight this quest boss with any weapons, so we're going to have to smuggle one in, along with some very specific supplies. I've stocked up on Draymond branches so I could craft a Draymond staff for each fight. Each fight, I'll also be using the best food I have available, carom wands. The last trick to this are rings of recoil. The rest is just luck. And good thing for him too, because if there were any skill involved, he'd stand no fucking chance.
They call me Superman. Leap tall hoes in a single bound. I'm single now. Got no ring on his finger now. I never let another chick bring me down in a relationship. Save it, bitch.
I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
Superman ain't saving shit. Girl, you can jump on Shady's dick.
Just kidding, I was mad. But that's the 3rd phase down and we can die to the 4th, so this boss is done and dusted. Like I said, no skill, just patience. So yep, real cool, okay? Quest done, nothing to see here. Yep, alright, bye-bye. Oh, Jesus. Oh God, please no.